Hello my dear viewers, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to Ruhoni Sewing. Our tutorial today is on front bodice with 2 darts. All the material used in this tutorial are listed in the description box below. Now let us start. As I have mentioned previously, today we are going to draw a 2 dart bodice. And here are the bodices. This is our front bodice, and as you can see here we have only this waist dart. And for the back bodice we have 2, the shoulder dart as well as our waist dart. So we will work on this front bodice. We are going to add more darts at the shoulder as well as at the side. And these darts are going to come from this waist dart. So as usual, start by tracing your pattern. Do not use your original pattern. To verify further with drawings, this here is our front basic pattern. Please do not mind my drawings, they are not as perfect, but first we are going to have the side dart and then the shoulder dart. These are the most common. If you have observed, most of the front pattern have 2 darts. And very few pattern have only 1 dart. But the advantage with the 2 dart bodies, it makes the garment to fit better. So mostly it is about the fitting of the garment, but also the designs. With these darts, they help you to draw different patterns with different designs. Another thing to remember is all our darts are going to start from the burst point, from this point here. So from the burst point we are going to draw the line towards the side. Just make sure that your line is perpendicular to the center front line. That way you are guaranteed that your dart is going to be at the proper position. So here is your line. As you can see, it is perpendicular to the center front. Now before continuing, make sure that you have your dart open as shown here. Then label your dart legs A and B. And also label the corner at the end of your waist as X as shown here. Then you are going to cut this line up to the burst point but not through it. You must cut up to almost to the burst point so that your pattern can be able to move freely. Then take another paper and draw the lines as shown here, making sure you have the 90 angle where they meet. And for easy drawing, make sure that from the top of your pattern to where the horizontal line is, the space is enough for your pattern. So I got a bit of an accident when I was pulling up this pattern. This piece detached, so I had to attach it back to the pattern. Now you are going to lay your front pattern on top of the pattern just like this, making sure the 90 angle on the pattern and on the paper align very well. Also the center front with a vertical line. Remember, this part here of the pattern is the one which is a straight line. The other part is not a straight line, so make sure it is at 90 angle. So let us look closely. As you can see, our center front line aligning well with a vertical line up to our waist. Okay, just make sure you pin well your pattern all the way. But remember, this part here is going to be loose, but be careful as it is a bit delicate here. So here, remember our pattern was like this, and you can see our X here, it's a bit far from that horizontal line. So to have our side dart, we are going to move our pattern down, move that X up to the horizontal line. Make sure it touches the horizontal line. Can you see our side dart? Now it is time to tape this part of the pattern, just like this. Here is our side dart and our waist dart. Take your pencil and redraw your pattern. Now you can understand when I said that whatever the part that you left, make sure it is enough for your pattern, because you are going to redraw the pattern again. But for me, I only draw my pattern up to the side dart. But to be honest, it would have been easy if I would have left enough space to draw the whole pattern, instead of joining the pattern as you can see it here. But anyway, make sure that when you're drawing your pattern, you don't have double lines. Have only one clear line, okay? And make sure the position of the bust point does not change. So as you can see here, I've already taken care of the darts. For our waist dart, I have measured from the bust point 1 inch. And for our side dart, I have measured from the bust point 1 1/4 inch. Here I measured directly below the bust point, but for our waist point, I measured on this straight line. So when sewing, our waist dart will end up here, and here for our waist dart. So here is our most common front bodice with the side and waist dart. Now we are going to draw our shoulder dart, and remember all the darts start from our bust point. To get our shoulder dart, we must close this side dart. So we are going to start by measuring half of our shoulder length. Remember our shoulder was 5.5 inches. So half of it is 2 3/4 inches. Connect half of your shoulder to the bust point by drawing a straight line. So we are going to cut along this line here we have just drawn, as well as the straight line of the side dart. And of course we are going to cut, but not all the way through the bust point, but up to the bust point, just like we did first with our side dart. Next, you are going to take the top piece of the pattern, as you can see here, and you are going to align it with the bottom piece of your pattern, exactly like I did here, so that you are going to close the side dart completely. For shoulder dart, just like the waist dart, draw leg dart from 1 1/4 inches. Okay, so here is our front bodice with shoulder and waist dart. Okay, so for our front bodice, we also have darts from our arm side. Actually, you can have your dart from almost anywhere, but for this tutorial, let me also show you how to draft a dart from the arm side. So first, from this pattern, we are going first to close this shoulder dart so that our side dart is open, and then we are going to proceed from there. The length of my arm side is almost 9 inches, just few points to reach exactly 9. So I'm going to measure 4.5 inches, half of our arm side, which is exactly at the same position as our arm side notch. And then simply you're going to connect these 2 points, bust point and this half of the arm side. Then you are going just to cut the line up to, but not through the bust point. And again, as you did with the shoulder dart, you are going to close the side dart. And so here is our front pattern with mid arm side and front dart. Okay, so one last point just I want to share with you. Usually from the beginning I've shown you that we have a bodice which has this waist dart. I've shown you the side dart, the arm side dart and the shoulder dart. But like I said before, you can have dart from almost anywhere here. This is our center front. You can have a dart from our center front here or here at the waist, okay? Or you can have one from the neck, or even here at the bust you can have your dart. But also from this side You can have also your dart here from the corner of your waist, and in any position around this part here you can have your dart, but you can also have your dart from the end of your that's shoulder. It for this tutorial. Thank you so very much for watching up to this end, and thank you as always for your support. Hope to see you on my next video.